Welcome to SAMP Tutorials. Here you will learn how to script from basic to pro. Today's lesson is all about getting self-scripting. So before we begin, we'll need a scripting program called Pawno. This is a free-based software that you can get from samp.com/downloads. The link will be in the description, as well as all the other links and little bits you may need throughout the whole tutorial. Okay, so now we're ready to get hold of the software. What you want to do first is we need to go to the website. The website is, if you haven't got it already, it's www.sa-mp.com/download. Once on their website, you should recognise it from when you downloaded the SAMP client program, so you can play on SAMP servers. You want to scroll down past the client download and download SAMP Windows Server download. SAMP 0.3 Windows Server is what you want. If you're watching this video and they've updated it, then it's whichever updated server it is. They're pretty much all the same. Okay, so you want to open it up so that you can see it in WinRAR, WinZip, 7-zip, these loads of programs. You want to extract all your programs into a folder. I'm going to just save it to my desktop just for convenience wise. You can save it wherever you prefer to save it, as long as you remember where it is. So I'm just going to call my folder SAMP. You can call it SAMP, you can call it your server, around that area, as long as you know that that's what it contains. Okay, so now it's fully extracted all the software and everything we need. We can just close all the browsers and stuff down, and then in a second I'll just wait for you to just catch up, since some people's computers might not be fast enough or download might take a while. Okay, so now we're ready to start scripting. What you want to do first is open up your file where we just extracted all the parts of the SAMP server. At first this may look a bit complicated, but over time you will understand each part of what all this stuff does. So to start scripting we need Pawno. Pawno is a version of C, and C is a program for writing computer programs. It's used everywhere really, but this is a basic version of it that was created. So if you open up the folder, now you just want to right click on Pawno, click on properties, compatibility, and run as administrator, because if you don't do that you do get an error, which, because this is, I'm used to scripting stuff, I already got it set to administrator. So once you've opened it, it may look basic and boring, but on the other hand you've got your side panel down your right hand side that looks very complicated, but over time you will learn all of this stuff. So first of all you just want to click File, New, which will open a brand new script. Once we have a new script, we will work through the script to make a basic game mode. At the moment, the game mode the script that comes up is basic. This will allow you to spawn in on a SAMP server, where you set the coordinates to. It's got everything set up ready for you. Most of these parts, as you look through it, may look very complicated, but half of these bits we will get to as we work through it. What you may notice at first is that it says filter script and game mode. The difference is between them is that a game mode is the base of the whole server, and a filter script is like a little add-on. But filter scripts you can change and alter whilst running the server without closing it and restarting it. But you can only have a maximum of about 5 filter scripts, and filter scripts can make the game mode, well, not just the game mode, the whole server run slower, and you can only have one game mode. So to get started, since we're creating a game mode, we want to delete all these little bits that are called filter script. The hash else is to actually do with filter scripts, so that needs to go as well. Hash end if is also to do with it. The hash else and hash end if, between them you're basically putting the main parts of the script. The main parts of the script are on filter script init and on filter script exit. Okay. As you may notice at the top, it said this is all. We've got this green writing. This green writing is to do with comments. Slash will make it a comment, or slash star. Slash star. In between those 2 points, it will be classed as a comment. You can do comments for multiple lines. Slash will just, comment that one line only. So at the moment we don't need any, comments in it or anything to start with. We will work through it, and you can add comments when you feel like, I've used comments to just remind myself of bits and to just make it a bit easier to skip from one section of the script to another when you're looking for a part of the script. So at the moment you may just start from the top really. You've got hash include samp, well a_samp. This is the include, the samp. So without that line, when you try to comply it, which is checking for errors, you'll just get a load of errors because none of it will make sense to the computer at all. So hash include is an include file which contains other parts of the script that tells the main script what to do. You can also add extensions on, so instead of having everything wrote into one game mode, if you've got like a whole mapping area, you can just have that separate in an include for it all itself. It is possible. These game modes out there and services that do that, it makes no difference to it, because when you comply the game mode reads it all as one and saves it all as one. But when you want to personally edit the game mode, it can make things a bit complicated. Okay, main is when you load the game mode, it reads this, and it reads this and just goes, right, okay, basically it just says print, which print just prints it into the command protocol box that is opened with all the scripting parts in, all the server parts. So when it's loading the game mode, and game mode, the filter scripts includes all the credits and parts like that shown in there. You don't really need that. Well, you can edit if you want. It doesn't really matter, but you do actually just need the main part, because otherwise you can get some errors. The scripts later on might not happen at first, but later on it can just make the scripts a bit bad. Okay, so the first main section you want to do is public game mode init. This is your main hub. So when you start the server, this is the first major part of the thread. This is where if you add in vehicles, you know, classes, which are people's different skins and spawn points on player class, which when, as you may know from playing Sampies, you can select your character skin, whether it's police, pilot, you know, so on. There are sections that can be added there. You know, these parts can be really big. On game mode exit is when the server is shut down or someone leaves the server. It sometimes it's mainly red when the player shuts down the server. Okay, so the next part is on player request class. As I said, player class, this just sets your camera position, your player position, and the direction your camera's looking at. You know, if you have set skins, you don't like pick your own skin every time, then this section will just be completely, you know, you don't have to have this section, you can just remove that. A main section you do need is on player connect and on player disconnect. As it says, you know, on player connect, when a player joins the server, that's where you put stuff. So it's like, if a player joins the server and you want to send them a certain message, you know, like welcome to the server, that's the area you add it. On player disconnect, if you want everybody in the server to have a message saying so and so has left the server, then that's where we'll add it. All this stuff will be covered later on in the server, in the scripts, tutorials. On player spawn, when a player spawns, whether it's his first spawn, his, you know, millionth spawn in the server, you know, we add parts there. On player death, same as on player spawn, when someone dies. On vehicle spawn, if in some servers, you know, you can type a command, like in some servers you can type a command, you can spawn a vehicle, you know, and it sometimes says to everybody else, you know, your name has spawned this vehicle. That's where we can add it. Same like on vehicle death, you know, so and so has, you know, destroyed this car. You know, it can be sent to everyone. On player text isn't actually used that much now. Out of all my scripting time of me scripting, I've never used it, so I'm just going to skip over that part because it's not usable as far as I know at the time, because I've never used it, you know, I've had no need to use it. On player command text is where you have your commands, but the command system that is being used at the moment on command player text is quite old. So, you know, we will be changing this to a more updated command system which will be faster and read your commands better off. But for the time being, it can run perfectly fine for you starting to script. But there's loads more, you know, different parts to the game mode that's left. But since I want to try and keep these videos short and not too complicated, you know, we'll be ending this one here, you know, and there will be another video tomorrow. I will hopefully try and get a video out every day for you guys. I hope you enjoy these videos. If you do, just give it a like and make a comment. I read all comments. Any abusive, bad comments and stuff like that will be removed and people may be reported. You know, I'm happy to make sections on certain areas. I hope you enjoy these videos.